So good evening everybody, this is Pete W here for tuning in for another fantastic OBF1 Friday Night Racing League race. Yep, that's the one. So tonight we are round 15 of the 19 round season and it is Singapore. Now I'm looking at the Drivers' Championship and I do believe that potentially Max could wrap up the title tonight. So Max needs to have a 131 point advantage, and I'm just going to do the maths now, but I believe he is he's definitely very close to that. I do apologise, I haven't got the actual up-to-date results, but he after Spa, so excluding Monza from last week, we had a 111.5 point lead from Max over his nearest title contender, Little Jim. So I'm just going to have a quick look at the race results from last week, and so I'm looking here and I did not see Max as having finished. No, so Jim actually closed the gap by, my apologies, just doing the maths now. No, so the gap right now is 93.5 points. So tonight we will not be seeing the championship decided. However, it could get very close to that point where next week we are looking at the championship to be decided potentially at Russia. So yep, after this race only 104 points available, so let's see how it goes. Drivers will shortly be ready and up. I'm about to give the signal, so just bear with me guys. Team of 14 drivers, and will not be Jonathan Cox just rejoining us, thankfully, so he will get his seat in qualifying sorted. So we have got a short, as always, 18-minute qualifying session followed by a 50% race here in the OBF1 calendar, as always what we tend to run. So we had a big announcement this week about F1 2021 and the new looks of the racing come the launch of the game next month. Really looking forward to launching our 2 Wednesday leagues where we'll be working on a tiered section, so drivers will be looking to have provided me with over 30 time trial times so that we can start to look at what drivers are going to belong in tier 1, what drivers are going to belong in tier 2, and shortly we will be making that announcement. So thanks to all the drivers who have done so, and for anyone who is watching tonight, if you do fancy getting involved in the OBF1 League, please do feel free to check us out. We are on Discord, or just drop me a message on Facebook. You can see we've got a dry qualifying here for Singapore. Let's hope we've got a dry race. The last few races we have done, especially at Italy for both Friday night and Wednesday night, were in wet weather conditions. Full wet last Friday and intermediate wets on Wednesday, but it didn't stop some fantastic action happening. So we will shortly be seeing the drivers starting to come out, I'm sure. Just see we've got a few people watching and got some comments. So really to Max, good luck everyone. I believe that to be Max, so thank you very much for dropping that comment in, Max. And yeah, good luck to everybody. Always get some decent racing here in OBF1, so let's hope that continues. See, unfortunately a couple of drivers didn't make it in time with us, but like I said, still going to be on course with some great racing. So whilst we are in a bit of a lull period, I am just going to very quickly update the points table just to see who's standing where. Just bear with me, guys. So where are we? Just going to take a couple of minutes break, guys, just whilst everyone's on their out laps, warm up laps. Thanks again for tuning in, and stay tuned, I'll be right back. Oh, Mitch followed right behind with Paul Harrison on there, having just started their fast lap. Let's see what is Mitch able to do. Mitch was doing another great job reserving in today in the Williams, replacing Chris Abat, who is unavailable for tonight. So let's see what Mitch is able to do. I think Paul Harrison's going to get a lovely toe, who has decided to start on here on the medium tyres. Mitch hasn't started on soft tyres, so I would expect Mitch to go, as Mitch runs very right through turn 5. I'm not sure if he picked up any damage there, but I would be surprised if he didn't. Not like he made contact with a wall. The two drivers now coming through to sector 2, through sector 2, the twisty turns of this evening street circuit Grand Prix. And looks like Mitch is now starting to pull away using those soft tyres. Could affect as Paul Harrison gets to get a little bit out of shape there, but managed to hold it together. Coming through to the end of sector 2. Let's have a look at what is Mitch going to do. 103.3 and 104.2 for Paul Harrison. So already a second down on Mitch. Please excuse me there. And as we come through the final few turns of this very tight third sector, so easy to invalidate around here, because obviously I will restrict corner cutting if you do, as we see Mitch dive into the pits. I'm surprised at that, but obviously he feels he can do a lot better. So Paul is going to come off the lines at 136.927, currently good enough for pole position. So who is next? Got an Alpha Tower coming over. Let's keep an eye of Short Marcus and Denmark have both set lap times now, all on the medium tyre. Short Marcus currently faster with a 136.246. What is Paul going to do? So we've got 10.7. So he is now coming for an in lap. Still going quite fast. Let's have a quick look now. Let's see. Okay, so who have we got out? Martins. He's just set a lap, but it did not count. I'm presuming he invalidated. Let's sit on board of FTH. We know FTH has got some great pace from the other week, having been one of our fastest drivers and currently ranked in the top 8 of the league. So we'll be looking forward to the draw for F1 2021, where we will be giving the top 10 drivers their choice of teams, and then teaming them with the 10 of the other 10 drivers. As we see at McLaren, who was that? Was that Denmark? Yeah, that was Denmark getting a little bit out of shape now. I don't know if he was just getting out of the way there, or if he was actually on a flying lap. Denmark, no, I think he's on an in lap now, because he has already set his fast. Just looking there, seeing that CDM has gone into second, still 0.6 of a second behind Short Marcus. So this is looking like an amazing lap that Short Marcus set on those medium tyres. We've got yellow flags all through sector 2, getting a lot of traffic coming towards the end of sector 2. You can see 5 or 6 cars down that DRS straight, but let's once again concentrate on FTH. Coming through the final 2 turns now, so easy to run wide and invalidate here, but he holds it together, and that's going to be pole position on 136.087. Interesting enough, only 0.2 of a second faster with Short Marcus here, so Short Marcus, fantastic opening the lap. So wow, I'm looking at this here, and wow, I don't know how there was no contact there. But Martin, once again, having invalidated, seems really struggling to get a lap through here. Now, where is Jonathan Cox? He has invalidated this lap, so I'm sure he's going to go again. The medium tyres will be taking a lot less wear than there are soft tyres at this point, as is always the case. Last longer and are supposed to be slower, but I mean, I'm looking here these laps, and FTH, who is not a slow driver, only going 0.2 up on Short Marcus, so he maybe this is one of Marcus's favourite tracks. I know CDM in 4th place is being picked by Cyberspace as Martin 69 and retires from the session. So Martin will be starting at the back of the grid. Oh, and Jonathan Cox. Oh, I was wondering there if he was going to lock up. So we can see we've got a few drivers out on track at the moment, but I'm going to focus on Mitch. Mitch having won a couple of races this season in the league. Also is going to be in our top 10 for tier 1. So let's have a look at what he's able to produce here. Hopefully he doesn't invalidate again. Nice line there through turns 2 and 3. As we head up towards turn 4, and the fast right hander gets a decent connection there with the curb, and the DRS are on instantly. How's he going to do now? I'm seeing some drivers here side of space, and Paul having 3 and 2 laps respectively on their medium. Really going to start to lose the advantage as Mitch invalidates there, which is going to be gutted. That was a fantastic first sector. So as we see, wow, Little Jim setting the bar at 135.181. I mean, I know he's fast, but Jesus, wow, that was incredible by Jim. So, excuse me a sec guys, my apologies. Who to watch out for? So Max still has not come out. We've got Little Jim, he's not going to go again, he's going to sit on those tyres. We've got Jonathan Cox and Brooke Gorilla on the outer laps. Jonathan Cox is in sector 1 and Brooke Gorilla in sector 2. As Brooke Gorilla does connect with the barrier, so whether he's got damage, I would be surprised if he didn't. That looked like quite a hard hit. So Rumax, however, is on a fast lap. He is just coming through the start of sector 3 now. Twisty turny, as is most of his circuit, to be fair. It's very technical. 22 corners, the most on the F1 calendar, I do believe. So this one in Vietnam, I believe, both having 22 turns respectively. Also one of the longest circuits at a minute 45 over. Rumax has got it together. He's going to come around the last few corners, get his banker lap in. I thought he was going to lose it down. 136.2. Good enough for 4th position there from Rumax. Not a bad effort. We've got a lot more drivers to come out onto the softs, which is what he's set his lap on. But that's not a bad lap. That is not a bad lap at all. But I can see Short Marcus now, having lost pole position, has reacted instantly and is back out. Mitch having retired from the session, so Mitch will be starting at the back of the grid for the race. Not where he's going to want to be, but he is the king of comebacks. I've always found when he starts towards the back of the grid, he still manages to make his way through. Over Singapore being a tight and twisty circuit, let's see if he's able to do so here. So coming through, we're now in sector 2 for Short Marcus. Rumax will need to get out of the way. He's not on a fast lap, so let's see that, and he gets out of the way very nicely, cleanly and professionally. What is Short Marcus going to be producing here as we come through the middle of sector 2? Very twisty turny part of it. Third line there through the sharp left-hander. So we head up towards the end of sector 2. Marcus 1.1 seconds down on Little Jim. Where are we going to see him? He's currently 1.1 seconds up on his fastest lap. So this is going to be close, but who am I think I know who I'm voting right now. Marcus has just got to keep it together. However, let's remember Jim set that time on mediums, not on softs. So Marcus, let's see what you can do in the last sector. Let's see. It's a bit out of shape there over the chicane. Coming down to the last 2 corners, and we are looking at a 1:34.413, 7/10 of a second in that last sector alone gained on Little Jim. What a lap, and Marcus showing the true pace of these softs there. What a fantastic lap time by the young man. Let's sit on board with John Cox, who is just about to set his first lap time in the Red Bull. And it's going to be a 1:34.288 and going pole, taking it straight from Marcus. A fantastic lap there from the race winner, I want to say at Hungary. Yeah, it was at Hungary where Jonathan Cox took the win from his friend FTH. What a qualifying lap that was. We got FTH out on the mediums. It looks like he's given up on our lap. However, you can always tell by what level of ERS they're running, and he has given up on his lap. So cyberspace, let's have a look at cyberspace. What is he doing? He's currently in sector 3. He's going to be coming towards the end of it. This is he has just started sector 3, but he is not running ERS, so I believe he'll be going again. We've got 5 minutes left of this action-packed session at Singapore. Hope you're enjoying the commentary and the I hope you're enjoying the commentary and the action that we're seeing here. I did think Silas Race was going to run very wide there. So the question I'm looking to see is, will Jim come out on the as Silas Space gets a bit too much of the curve and does lose it? That's going to cost him a serious amount of time, and I don't see him having wanting to try and continue his lap. Is he going to? And he's going for it. What is he going to be looking at here? Currently 7/10 of a second up. Is he looking to abandon this lap? Just watching. I'm going to sit on board with FTH, who is going for another fast lap. Having got 1:41 on his last lap, so maybe losing some time in one of the sectors and trying to abandon the lap. What is he able to put through? Only driver who's currently out on the medium tyres besides Kieran Rees. Okay. So what is we looking at here? Wow, 7/10 of a second up on his first sector already. FTH really going for this. He needs to find 1.8 seconds to catch his friend Jonathan Cox up as he passes Denmark coming through the second sector. Down 3 minutes to go. Question for me, is Jim going to come out and take another lap, or is he going to stay? I think. Would I want to start on the mediums? I mean, they're going to be probably preferential compound. The softs are very heavy for wear on the track. I imagine you're looking at lap 6, maybe lap 7 on pittings. So to start on the mediums, if you can, and start from the second motor, I think I would take that over Thurston on the softs. What is FTH going to produce? I didn't catch what time he had done through sector 2. However, this looks like a very fast lap from the Racing Point driver. Come through the last couple of corners now. Getting on throttle nice and early there. Let's just pull out a bit in terms of time. A 1:34.9. So FTH pipping Little Jim. Quid pro quo for tyres. FTH the fastest driver on the medium compound now. So I'm not seeing any. Jim has literally got, I would say, 20 seconds to come out if he wants to, otherwise he's going to be done for. And Rumax is once again out on a fast lap. Let's sit on board with Rumax, because I don't think Jim's coming out again. I think he is going to stay on these medium compound. As Broke really trying to get out of the way, Kieran as well. Everyone having so much respect for all the other drivers, and yeah, but I do not see Jim coming out. Rumax, what is he going to be able to produce through sector 2? He's got 1.1 seconds to gain, but the gap between him, Paul Harris, and the side of space, who will have given up. Let's see, is he going to be able to pip Jim for 4th? Rumax a decent job here actually. What's his line there? So I think he had to get off the throttle a little bit earlier. But Gorilla still having not set a lap and onto the 2 minutes. So Max will he be going again? I'm sure. It's not very often we don't speak about Max during qualifying, but as we see, CDM has retired from the session. So CDM has retired from the session. Jim is on his out lap. So Jim has come out on some fresh soft, on some fresh mediums, I believe. Yep, on fresh mediums. Not content, having now dropped to 5th with Max going at 1:34.6 on the mediums. Jonathan Cox and Short Marcus. What is so Max does improve on his lap time, staying in what was 6th place. However, he's not improved position, just time. We've got a lot of drivers on out laps. It's going to be interesting to see whether or not they make it. Max is now finished. CDM has dropped to 10th. One more position, he gets a free set of tyres. If I was kidding, yeah, I don't think I would be doing anything here. He's going to get a fresh set, new tyres. I'm not doing anything here. So right now things are looking like we've got. Let's see where they are on the track. So Short Marcus, I don't see John Cox making it. He's not going to make it from there, so I don't see him having any answer. Then we got Short Marcus. He's given up, so I'm inclined. Or is he waiting for the very last second? He's got 20 seconds to get to the start finish line. Is he gonna? What is Marcus doing? I'm not sure, but it does not look like he's gonna set a lap here. Okay, he's going for it. Let's see if he's got the time. 7, 6, 5, 4. Just leaving it literally to the last 3 seconds. So Max is up. Jim is out. Max will be coming on an in lap, I'm sure of it. However, Marcus is in. Yes, he is. So Marcus, we're going to start about with Marcus. Marcus wants that pole position. Jonathan Cox is finished. Yes, Jonathan Cox is finished. I'm going to shortly across the line. Let's stay on board with Short Marcus. 10th of a second up on his time. Where is Jim? Jim was 2/10 of a second. Beaten had improved by 2/10 of a second through the first sector. What is he going to be able to produce here as he runs a little bit wide there? What's he able to do here? Tight left to right chicane through the tunnel. Good line there for Jim. Is this going to be good enough to still 4th or potentially 3rd for Max? Jim coming to the finish now, and this is going to be a 1:35.1. No improvement there for, as we see, Denmark has jumped up to 6th place, and Short Marcus has invalidated. So that, I do believe, is that. We've got Paul Harrison. He is on a fast lap, but he's not improved through sector 2. He's got 3 attempts to game to get past Max. Is he going to be able to do it? The track will obviously be at his prime in terms of temperature, and where on the track we can see obviously a lot of tyre marks down. So what are Paul and Sidespace going to be able to produce here now? Paul is coming around last few turns, and what's this looking like for Paul? He's going for it, and this is going to be, as he has to get off the throttle there, at 1:35.5. Massive improvement there for Paul, just behind Denmark. And Cyberspace, where are we going to be with Cyber? Last few times. I don't think this is going to be an improvement. 1:36.8, yes it will be. 1:35.8, so in his second improvement. Max done. CDM is starting in the top 10, so we have got our drivers, only 12 drivers actually setting their time, so that's quite interesting. Sorry guys, so we have now got our qualifying results, so that Jonathan Cox will be starting in first 1:34.2 short. Marcus in the Mercedes, fantastic effort from him in the Mercedes, going second. Max the fastest of the medium drivers in third. FTH in fourth. Little Jim in fifth. Denmark in sixth. Paul Harris in seventh. Cyberspace in eighth. Rumax in ninth. CDM 10th. Kieran Reese in 11th. KVD in 12th. Mitch in 13th. Broke Gorilla in 14th. And I'm not sure who was actually in 15th because I didn't get around to taking that. But we have now got our starting lap grid. Remember, guys, there is no formation lap anymore. No formation lap now. Is it Martin 69er would have been the driver who is starting at the back. So thanks to the guys who are tuning in. We've got the drivers just setting up the last bits before we get going here for the race at Singapore. One of our longer tracks, so I imagine it's going to be like a 26 lap race. I think it is. I think it's 52 or 100%. So drivers are now ready and up. Setups done, strategies done. We're interested to see what everyone has picked and straight into the action. No formation laps anymore here in the OBF1 league due to too many incidents we've been having with the game crashing and whatnot, so we just decided to cut the formation laps and just get straight into it. So we will shortly be getting going, and will Jonathan Cox be able to defend his lead? How long are these soft tyres going to last? Will the medium drivers be in the best position here to challenge for the race wins? We've got Max, Little Jim and FTH all starting on them. Let's get some telemetry up. And off we go. We've had one driver decide to start an attempt. Jonathan Cox getting a very well shot. Marcus and Max running very wide there, really trying to get past Marcus. Denmark up to fourth, and we've got a VSE. We have got a VSE, so there must have been some issues at the start. Let's have a look towards the back. I'm not seeing anything there on Rumax's car, but if I remember correctly, Rumax did qualify in the top 10, so there must have been something. Let's have a quick look. Position change. So Rumax down 6 places, Kieran down 3. Maybe the two drivers had contact. I'm looking at that Alfa Romeo. Broke Gorilla, maybe? Is there damage on Broke's car? Yep, he's missing them plates, so Broke Gorilla will be pitting at the end of this lap. And ouch, he was the one driver that started on the hard tyres, maybe. Don't know what happened there, maybe a bit too eager, but we're still under VSC conditions due to the debris that was on the track. Broke Gorilla is going to be pitting this lap, and he's going to have a heck of a race at the back, trying to catch up, because he's going to have to do 2 stops minimum. So the medium tyres are never going to last the whole race. I doubt, to be honest, the hardwoods, and we are now back racing, so let's get towards the front. I'm going to sit on board with shot Marcus. Let's see what he's able to produce here. And for some reason I've got stops on. Focus on the tyre way. So as you can see there, it's saying the soft 2 stops, 6 pitting lap 6 to 8. Mediums will go for 2 lap, will go for a 1 stopper, and that is going to make a big difference around this track. So let's have a look. So I can see FTH has already dropped 3 positions, Jim maintaining position, Denmark shooting up, Paul Harrison also gaining, Max staying in 3rd. Be interesting to see how these tyres. We will have a bit of a DRS chain at the end of this lap if it stays as it is behind Max. All the drivers up to CDM up in 9th are within a second of each other. So let's see here. Let's get off of Marcus's view, and we're just gonna sit back and watch. We've got an interesting situation here in that both of the Alfa Romeos were in the pits, and CDM has retired from the race. CDM was so looking forward to this race as well, and now we have a safety car. So I mean, that couldn't have been at a better time. For the 2 Alfa Romeos, because now they're going to be. They've basically just got a free pit stop. They've got to get out of jail free card because they're going to get to catch up. They're already, take Martin for example, is already a minute behind Rumax in 12th. So this is a get out of jail free card for them. They're going to be on fresher tyres, having already done a pit stop, be able to go longer. So they've basically just swapped from the soft or hard, but they are going to have to worry about if they get any damage. But now, what would I be pitting here if I was on the soft tyres? I think I would be, because it's a 2-stop race anyway. So they're going to have to take it. And right now we're under safety car conditions, which will save them 10 seconds, but ultimately it will save them 25 seconds, because they'll come back in towards, I would say, I mean, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers, and I'm surprised to see so many drivers not pitting. Denmark has, Paul Harrison has, I think that Central Side of Space has. And is KBD going to be pitting? It does not look like it. KBD has continued. Will Max get a 5-second penalty for exceeding track limits? That must have been some severe track limits. So we are now in safety car mode, guys. I will be back in a couple of minutes. Thanks very much again for tuning in. So as we can see, three drivers who decided to pit from the front onto the medium, onto the soft, off the soft. Denmark has chosen the mediums. Paul and Side are thinking the hards are going to last the entirety of the race. I think we're going to need a couple of safety cars. It's a 31 lap race, so one of our longer 50%ers, which I'm quite surprised about with the length, with the time of the track, 140s as we saw. Sorry, 135. It's quite a long track, so I was quite surprised about. But yep, so 28 laps to go. Are the hards going to last that long? I don't think so. I really don't. Like, it was suggesting a medium hard strategy at the start. I think essentially they might go hard soft maybe. I mean, I guess we'll see, but I think Denmark here is putting himself in a prime position to potentially set some good points. Going medium, I think there's going to be a greater delta difference going medium than hard soft, because the soft tyre degradation around here is immense. Like, it was showing 6 to 8 laps on the soft, so even on fresh softs 8 laps, maybe 10 towards the end of the race, but I think the delta difference will be better on the mediums. I guess we'll see how that plays out. Denmark and Paul very close in terms of pace, race pace, so we'll see how that goes. As we get the notice that The safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap, so Jonathan Cox is now our de facto safety car. It's going to be on him when we go. All the drivers giving each other plenty of space here, nobody right up another driver, so that's fantastic. And we will shortly be getting going, so let's see on the restart, when is Jonathan going to put it down? The drivers are closing in on one another, want to be careful to avoid penalties, and Jonathan Cox drops the throttle and off we go. We are going to be back racing here as Jonathan Cox spins out of the last turn of the safety car lap, giving Short Marcus the lead. Jonathan Cox all the way down to the back, he is going to be. Yep, all the way down to the back. Kieran Rees has also lost it through the same turn. Not as badly as John Cox, but yep, Kieran Rees down to 13th. John Cox down to 14th from pole. Has Kieran got damage? Yep, Kieran has got damage. He's lost the end plate. I'm guessing there must have been contact there. Martin 69 is seeming to really be struggling as well, so that's going to be a pit stop for Kieran. Has Martin got any damage? Let's have a quick look. 3-second time penalty for KVDR. And no, didn't see any damage there, but I'm not sure if that is missing an end plate. Nope, don't see it. Nope, so that's fine. Yep, Martin getting past Kieran. No problems there. Kieran with wing damage, so really struggling. Now we got Max right on the back of Short Marcus. Let's retune back in for this lead. Max with Little Jim, his closest title contender, right on his back. Got Max using a lot of ERS, already down to 50% ERS to try, and he doesn't need to. Remembering that Short Marcus has got 4 laps on these tyres now, he may look to do the soft hard switch. He could potentially be making these laps last a little bit longer simply because of that safety car. But Max does not need to push this. He's going to have faster tyres if Short Marcus does the hards, and he's going to have as close fresher tyres for quite some time when he does change onto the medium. So I'm not sure what his plan is here, but I think I'd definitely be playing a long game there. Good line there for Short Marcus, who does set the fastest lap of the race on 1:41.599. KVDPR is pitting. I'm sure we're going to see Kieran pitting after him. But top 4 really pushing away from Denmark. Denmark already 3 seconds down on FTH. Kieran Rees getting a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And Marcus loses out to Max there. A fantastic move down the inside of Max along the fast straight. But wow, I mean, he's down to 20% ERS already. He's really going to have to push here to try and get that. And Jim is not going to want to hang around behind Marcus. He knows he's got the pace. He knows these softs are going to be falling off soon, and he knows DRS is going to be coming into play next lap. However, if Max can break that 1 second, and he already has done, and he's using everything he's got, Jim with 40% ERS left, but stuck behind Marcus. Max has got nothing, and this is, even with a lot of turns, this track is really hard to gain the ERS on, simply because of the straights, and number 1, it's still medium ERS, does still use it, so Jim is not going to want to wait here. Denmark catching up. I mean, Denmark was 3.5 seconds behind in sector 1, having already gained a second on FTH because they're being held up by Short Marcus. Not held up, but yeah, they're losing time behind Short Marcus. And good line there from Jim. I wonder if he would have got a warning there, but I doubt it. So let's have a look now. Jim is going to have DRS already. 2 seconds between Jim and Marcus. This was, sorry, Jim, Marcus and Max even. But Jim not being able to make the most of the DRS there, and still all running very wide there out of the first 10 of sector 2. If I remember correctly, this track does actually have 3 DRS sections. I'm not surprised, like I said, it's one of the longer tracks, but Yeah, let's see when and if Jim will be able to make a move. He may well be trying to save his tyres. How is Max looking? Like I said, ERS is practically out, so Denmark keeping similar pace to the guys now, as we got little Jim alongside Marcus. He's got DRS, he's got his ERS wide open. Marcus on the inside of the defending line. Is Jim going to be able to make a move here? Getting better traction out of that turn. And yes, he completes the move on Marcus, getting second. 3 seconds now separating him and Max. It was that many tenths just 2 laps ago. What can Jim do here? He's going to... Let's see if Jim can catch the pace of Max and catch up to him. So we've got FTH next. Now, when... I was just about to say, when is Marcus going to be pitting? Lo and hold, lap 8. Even with 3 laps behind the safety car for 11 lap hold softs, yeah, they're going to be feeling it. Even though it says 8, obviously the top 10 would have had to qualify on the tyres that they started on. So now FTH is closing in on little Gem. We can tell this. He didn't have DRS. He was over a second at the activation point. However, he... What was I going to say here? Yeah, however, he was within a second by the time they got to the end of the straight. So Max now has a 3.2 second lead over Gem. FTH is less than a second within Jim, so he will have DRS very shortly. It used to be a DRS straight, yes it is. Very different lines there by the 2 guys who got the better exit. I would say Jim did, but FTH does have their assist of DRS. I want to sit on board now for the battle for 5th. Mitch, who started right at the back of the grid, is already up to 6th. Like I said, Mitch proving to be one of those drivers who, no matter where he starts, is going to be able to get through the field. He's a very fast driver, but he's also very good overtaker. I've had many battles with him in my time, and he's definitely one of the harder drivers to hold off on the grid. His track awareness is fantastic. So let's stay on board. You got him and Paul, both on 4-lap old hard tyres. As Mitch losing a bit more time there through those turns. It did look like he got a bit of a weak exit out of turn, I want to say 18, so out of DRS range. We'll want to get back into looking to brake late here. Maybe, nope. So we've got any other battles on track? We've got a decent battle. Marcus is right on the back of Broke Gorilla, who, having pitted, is he into the pits, goes Broke Gorilla. Must be struggling or have damage once again to his wing. Martin 69 and picking up his first 3-second penalty for track limits. So that's that battle done with. Have we got any? But wow, nobody is actually with DRS range of anybody else. FTH is kind of brinkering on the edge, however, not like it touch and go. So let's see. He's going. I think he's going to have it around the straight. Yes, he is. So, but Jim not able to keep the pace of Max, who's now 4 seconds ahead of Jim. I think, barring any big instance like I don't know, Max overtaking the safety car again, I think Max has made a fantastic move on Marcus to make it stick and pull out that lead when he knew those softs would be dying off. So great strategizing there by Max, making the move, smashing his DRS when he needed to, and he's paying proof now. Might not have much, but he's got some, and he's still pulling out the lead. So whatever you're doing, Max, keep going with it, it's working. So have we got any battles on track? Not particularly, so let's have a look. So 10 laps in, our top 10 is as follows. We've got Max in first, FTH, as we see Jonathan Clocks clipping the barrier, and he is in the pits again. What's turning out to, sorry, not again, this is his first pit stop actually, so he's run these as far as he can. What's he going on to? He looks like those are the medium tyres. I mean, he has done 13 laps on these softs. Let's see. I'm actually thinking that all the drivers might have, I think there might be an issue that I need to fix with the settings, so I think I know what I need to do. But yeah, so 10 lap old softs, 21 laps on mediums. Let's see if it's possible. Brooke Gorilla has gone onto the soft tyres. I think, having had to pit, I think, was that his second or third pit stop? Let's have a look. Stops. 2 stops for Brooke Gorilla, 2 stops on Martin and the Alfa Romeos. Everyone else on 1 stop, besides FTK and Max, who are yet to pit, because see Little Jim has pitted, has come out 3 seconds ahead of Short Marcus, who is looking to make this a one-stop strategy. Both drivers haven't switched onto the hard tyres. However, Marcus is now 3.5 seconds behind Jim with a penalty, and he has got 2 lap older hard tyres. Let's have a look. I believe it, yeah. So this is Jim's first lap, Marcus is on his second lap, so 1 lap older. So no, I think he came in 2 laps ago, so I think yeah, two laps, as we see Jim going purple in sector 2, showing that these hard tyres do still have some decent pace around here. So right now we are, like I was saying, we got Max in first, we got FTH in second, 5.1 seconds behind Max. Denmark a further 5.5 seconds down the field. Paul Harrison just a second behind Denmark. Now Paul, I don't think those hard tyres are going to last the 27 laps he's hoping. We will see. But like I said, I also was quite surprised by Jonathan Cox's decision to try and make the mediums last 21 laps. Maybe the drivers know something I don't. Actually, I think the drivers know a lot that I don't, hence why I'm commentating today and not racing. But let's see what happens going forward, and if these drivers can make those hard tyres last the length of the, well, pretty much the full length of the race. You'd be looking 27 laps. Okay, so I think we're going to have a battle on for 4th. We've got Paul now within the DRS range of Denmark. He's pulled out a 2.5 second gap on Mitch, so not having to worry about defending, can go pure attack. Now we've got 2 very fast drivers here, 2 drivers who are, I think, well, would both be in tier 1 if Denmark would be, as we've got Brooke Gorilla has retired from the race in sector 1, runs turns 1 and 2, so easy to lose it. I know, clip a bit too much curb and it's going to send you sideways, so that's our second retirement race. And it's a safety car. I think you're going to see a lot of changes here. I think we're going to see at least the top 5 pitting. To Denmark is in. Is Paul Gunner in? No, Paul. So Kieran Rees gets this race is just going from bad to worse for Kieran. In last position, and now has a drive-through penalty as well, which he won't be able to serve until after the safety car. That is unfortunate for Kieran. So Paul is now in the lead. I was surprised by his decision not to pit, because 19 laps with 3 behind the safety car, doable, I would say. I think these guys are coming in. We'll see. We will see. We've got a lot of drivers pitting onto fresh tyres. Mitch and Paul are going to have to go like crazy when they do eventually pit, but they will have options. So will they be able to make these tyres last long enough to go onto softs at the end, where they will have such superior pace? I don't know, but we will see. Like I said, they may be just eyeing to make them last the entire race, but they're going to have some very fast drivers behind them. But the drivers this does play in their hands too are, in my eyes, Jim and Denmark. I think they're going to have a fantastic opportunity here. Denmark was showing some decent pace, as was Little Jim, and now Jim is going to be right behind Max and FTH. And I think for me the question is, will Mitch and Paul be able to hold them off? They're all on the hard tyres, but they've got a lot more wear. However, all of these drivers are fast. All of these drivers will be in tier 1 for next season, and I think this is going to show us who's got it, who's got the racing blood, who is going to be coming out on top next season. We've got a 3-second penalty for KVD PR for track limits. Trying to catch up. There are some big gaps here. Now the back drivers will not be having to observe a delta right now, obviously. They would have up till the end of the lap, and no KVD, and I want to say Kieran and Martin are still in, well, still quite a bit in, so yeah, they're going to be catching up slowly but surely. We've got a 2.5 minute lap here behind the safety car, so it'll be interesting to see how long it takes them to catch up. I imagine by the end of the next lap they will have caught up, so like we're looking at about a 40 second gap between 13th and 10th, so let's see. Alright guys, I'm just going to take a short break, be right back. Needed that drink. Right, cool. So I am back, guys, and we are still under safety car conditions, sitting on board with Paul Harrison. Let's change the view a little bit. So yeah, no big surprise there. Drivers haven't caught up, just KVD now to catch up. So who knows, maybe the safety car will be coming in this lap. We are still in sector 2. KVD just a couple of seconds away, well now right on the back, so yep, safety car is in this lap. So Paul Harrison is going to become the de facto safety car. Now this is interesting for me because we've got two Haas and a Williams right at the front of the grid. We would never expect to see this in F1. That's in real F1. So it's just an interesting vision here. So right, Paul Harrison is going to be our de facto. We have got the drivers getting backed up. No one's going to want to collide with the driver ahead or behind them. Let's see when Paul makes the launch. Always like good to sit on board with number 2 to see the difference and how they respond. Mitch is not giving Paul anything, but only Paul knows when Paul's going to go. And off he goes. Paul launches it. Already 0.8 of a second up on Mitch, who's going to be defending hard from Max here. Max going to go for lunge. No, he thinks better of it. Mitch a bit wider than Max there, but Max not being able to get on the throttle as early, so takes a look up the inside, but thinks better of it. What is Max going to do? Is he going to use the same tactics on Mitch as he did on Marcus in the last restart and absolutely blitzes the RS? I thought he was going to go for there. Superb defending by Mitch, who keeps it together, clips the curve. However, Max gets the compromised exit, so he's unable to make the most of it. Mitch, like I said, one of our, I would say, more supreme defenders, so it's not going to be easy for him. And Paul already pulled out a 2 seconds up on Mitch. Mitch obviously having to do some very heavy defending, compromise his position, but Max is really all over the back of Mitch, wanting to get past quick because will Denmark get a 3-second penalty for track limits. Good line there for the drivers as we head up towards what I believe is turn 14. Max again looking on the inside but thinking better of it. Every time he's coming off of the race line to make these moves, he's just compromising himself that bit more. Paul now over 2 seconds ahead of Mitch. Some superb driving there by our race leader. Ooh, Max locking up. I thought it was going to be catching that. Is not the turn you want to be locking up at because you're going right into the tunnel. And we've got a yellow flag. We've got a Ferrari of cyberspace having dropped down, looking like he's spun, maybe made contact. We'll see if he has to pit at the end of the lap. But so we come through for lap 15 of 31. Paul Harrison in first, 2 seconds ahead of Mitch in second. Max just 0.2 of a second behind with FTH, just a few tenths of a second. Wow, that is some contact there between Little Jim and Short Marcus. Let's hope there was no damage to the two drivers. Short Marcus now having to defend from Denmark. Denmark getting past. Jonathan Cox right on his tail as well as Wumax, and Short Marcus opening up CRS. Let's hope Denmark gives him the space to go around, and Denmark will have the inside line into his turn. Will he be able to hold it? Fantastic line there by Denmark, running wide and taking back 6th position. So Marcus down to 7th. Jim already 2 seconds ahead of Marcus, who he only overtook at the start of the lap. Now, yeah, so wow, look at this train starting to form behind Mitch. Question is, how quickly can Jim catch up to it? However, they are all catching up on Paul Harrison. So Mitch, even with his heavy defending that he's having to do to keep Max and FTH at bay, is still catching up with Paul Harrison. So are these hard tyres starting to fall off a bit for Paul? Who knows how hard he's been running. Max losing a little bit of time there, coming through that turn. John Cox picking up a 3-second penalty for track clearance, and Jim definitely catching up. Jim is wanting to make the most of Mitch's defensive skills to catch up to Max and FTH, who are on very similar hard tyre time lengths. So like Jim's in out on them for 4 laps, the other two for 2 laps, 3 laps respectively in 5 now. As I thought there was going to be contact there between the Haas and the Racing Point. That was some serious DRS now. Mitch, I don't see him being able to hold up Max here. Max is going to have, he will have DRS, he will not have ERS, and Mitch with a lot more ERS is going to be able to hold him up. I think so. And FTH is coming right at Max, but big spin off. And there is contact between the two drivers. He's going to allow Jim through. No, it's not some good defending there by FTH there to hold off Little Jim. The question is, will he might be able to try and make too many manoeuvres like that. It was a bit, like I said, there was a bit of contact there between FTH and Max, and that was potentially race finishing had there been a bit more speed there. So let's see what the two drivers. We've got Max has got a bit of space now to FTH, who will, all of them will have a DRS train behind Mitch. Got Denmark catching up as well. John Cox is right on the tail of. So let's see if the driver's able to do anything. No, Mitch still with enough, having used now his ERS. So I think I would want to be FTH in this position. He's got a lot of ERS left. He's on the back of his DRS train. Good line there by all 3 drivers coming through, and Little Jim as well, whereas he's used up most of his ERS as well. So I think right now FTH probably looking in the best shape. 3 lap old hards to take the 2nd place. All the drivers again on Paul Harrison. Jonathan Cox setting the fastest lap of the race, 1:39.619. I thought that was going to be a little bit lower there, so well, that's interesting. What is Max going to happen? Mitch right on his gearbox as he enters turn 5. And coming through. And no surprise there for me, FTH being able to make the move on Max using his superior difference in ERS, still with 41%, so he'll be the next one to have a go at Mitch, who is still holding well to Paul Harrison. Paul with still a 1.7 second lead. And what will FTH be able to do here? 14 laps to go of the 31 lap race at Singapore. No, that is obviously not the main DRS straight. I think I would put it as supplement. So Max still stuck behind FTH. No ERSTs with advantage. Sorry. FTH running a little bit wide there at the 3rd turn. We're about to be turn 20. Like I said, going to have DRS here on Mitch. So will Max. drivers all on each other, but FTH getting ever closer to Mitch. Mitch getting within DRS range of Paul Harrison, so these harder tyres, I would definitely say, are starting to lose it a little bit for Paul. Mitch is not going to have DRS, sorry. I think he could have really used that because I think FTH is going to use everything to get past him now. And there is contact there between Mitch and FTH. Will FTH make the move and make it stick? No, Mitch defending is fantastic here. I don't know what I'm seeing, but that is, I mean, this is wow. This is absolutely wow. This is defending to be proud of by Mitch. He's holding these guys up. Denmark, we've got a 5 car train behind Mitch. Literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars, all of them who are catching up to Paul Harrison. As we see little Jim going down the inside, he's going to make this move on Max. Nope. He's unable to complete the move, and now Denmark right on the back of little Jim. Literally, you're on the back of one driver and then you're off as Jim picks up a 3-second penalty. The highest driver at the moment for track limits, so Jim is going to really, it's not going to affect the drivers behind him, but it has compromised his ability to challenge the likes of FTH and Max. So let's see, will FTH get the better of Mitch this time? Both got very similar levels of ERS. I don't think, FTH does not want to wait. Mitch moving to the inside to defend. FTH running running very wide there, but making the move slip. Mitch now will have the ERS now. FTH will not, and this is going to put him at risk, not just from Mitch, but also from Max. Will Mitch be able to make anything of it? Does not have much ERS left. Out of ERS. This is going to be ambitious. There's contact between the Jews drivers, but nothing that's going to be... It's going to cause damage, however. And FTH has lost it. And down to 7th from 2nd. Mitch making the move. Getting past... Will we be seeing that in instant reports? I do wonder. So Mitch now, Paul Harrison all the time is still out in front. He's getting past. Denmark did get a move done on Jim through all that as well, as is Jonathan Cox. It looks like John is... I'm wondering if... Yep, FTH has got wing damage, so he's going to be pitting. What a shame there for our Turkish driver. I do believe he's Turkish, so what a shame there for FTH. Fantastic race. So I don't know if Jim has made a mistake, but he's lost positions to both Denmark and Jonathan Cox, who Jonathan Cox is now out of DRS range of Denmark. So the train behind Mitch has gone from 6 cars to 2 cars. Probably a little bit more manageable, but not what little Jim would have wanted against his title contender of Max. Sort of title contender. Max going for a very ambitious move down the inside, and Furkan getting a 5-second penalty. Mitch, wow, another Mitch getting a free. So Mitch got a 3-second penalty for corner cut for exceeding track limits. Max has been spun, and Max now not losing too much time, still on the rear of Denmark. There's some serious action here in the closing stages of the Singapore Grand Prix, as I would expect with any street circuit. Max on the inside of Denmark makes the move and makes it stick. Yep, so Max taking back third place, and he's going to want to have another go at Mitch, and will not be not taking any prisoners this time. So FTH is coming in and putting on a brand new pair of mediums. A little Jim. Oh, Jim also picked up damage, so Jim in the pits as well, down to 12th position, and both drivers switching on to the mediums. Now, sorry, I've got the info. So let's have a look at penalties. A lot of penalties tonight. Just Max. There's the Haas drivers who have not pitted yet, so just waiting for interval times to come up. If you're having a bit of Codemasters glitch and not getting any times at the moment, but I'm sure that will be coming up shortly at the end of the lap. But we can see Paul Harrison is, I would say, maybe about 2.5 seconds ahead. Paul, I'm not even going to jinx it, but we've got 11 laps left. I'm sure Mitch and Paul are going to be very aware of their tyre wear, and but I'm not seeing any warning lights yet, so that is good. And Paul's not even on his ERS. With a 2.5 second lead, he's got 93% ERS. He's doing a fantastic job with it, managing. Yeah, obviously ERS, as great as it is for the speed, for the extra speed it gives, I think it's something like 15-20 kilometers an hour. It really does your back tyres in for tyre wear. So Paul is managing his car brilliantly. Let's sit on board with Max now. Max down the inside, but Mitch will have the inside line for this corner. Max squeezing Mitch, and I'm not sure Mitch had anywhere else to go. There, Mitch has retired from the race and has brought out a virtual safety car. So, virtual safety car now. Sorry, I'm speechless. I'm actually speechless. So, virtual safety car conditions. We've got a Haas 1-2. And our race leader, Paul Harrison, picks up a drive-through penalty for speeding under the virtual safety car. I don't know what to say. That is absolutely gutting for our race leader, who has driven a fantastic race and is now going to have to serve a drive-through penalty for speeding under a safety car. Only driver to pick one up as well, unfortunate for Paul. Worked his strategy to perfection, and now Max is up into first position. Paul will be coming out, and will probably come out, I would say, in fifth, behind Side of Space, who gets a 5-second Side of Space going into pit as well. Maybe he's picked up some damage, so he'll be going to retire. So Paul Harrison dropped from first to fourth, but I'm sure he's not going to be happy about that. So let's have a look for some battles. Do some battle for second now between Denmark and John Cox. So I'm still in a bit of shock. What's going on here? So, how many laps to go? 9 laps. We're about to go to lap 23, and we have got basically 9 laps to go. So let's see what the drivers are able to do. So Paul Harrison is going to be coming under attack from short Marcus pretty shortly. He's just 2.6 seconds behind him, within striking distance. And I'm seeing rain. So this, I think this is what Paul and Mitch were counting on, holding this hard long enough to stay out. Now, the question is, how hard is this rain going to hit? Is it going to be enough to warrant inters? With 8 laps to go, I'm going to say yes. And that kind of blows the race up, because Inter's Singapore is going to be interesting. Denmark picking up a 3-second time penalty for Jack Clements, and now still just the 2 Haas's who have not picked up a single penalty. So let's run through our remaining 12 drivers. We've got 9 laps to go, and we've got 11 drivers left now. Little Jim has just retired. I am going to presume that is a pit lane retirement. So Little Jim DNFing, giving Max potential 26 points on. Let's have a look at a fast lap, because I don't see it improving now. So Short Mark has currently got the fast lap of 1:39, so he will pick up that extra point as long as he finishes and in the top 10, which will be quite high because we do only have 11 drivers left. So looking at our top 11, our only 11. Max is in first, Denmark second, Jonathan Cox is in third, Paul Harrison in fourth, FTH in fifth, who is now right on the back of Paul Harrison, Marcus in sixth, Kieran Rees in seventh, Cyberspace in eighth, Rumax in ninth, KBD in 10th, and Martin 69er rounding us off with 11th place. Just 8 laps to go now for our race leaders, as we see FTH again a little bit offline. So I'm wondering, will we be going on to inters? The rain is starting to come down. However, for me, the key thing with inters when you switch on to them is, has the DRS been disabled? Right now, as we can see, it's all very much online. FTH will be going for this move. Paul Harrison, I'm sure, will be defending with everything still with over 80% ERS, so really managing those tyres. Takes the inside line for this turn. FTH goes around the outside and makes them move. Is he going to make it stick? Yes, he is, and FTH gets the move done on Paul Harrison, moving him up to 4th place in the race. Have a look for any other battles on the track. I can see Kieran and Cider are very close to one another, and I think as I say that, no, Kieran's ring is still intact. So Cider, however, on brand new medium tyres. So I'm guessing, having just pitted, Cider thinks these is not going to get any harder to the point where inters will be required. If he does, he's going to be absolutely good. But we will see as the race progresses further. Leaders just crossing the start line for lap 25. Max with a comfortable 4.6 second lead over Denmark. Jonathan Cox really catching up to Denmark now, just 1.2 seconds behind the McLaren driver. Cox really utilising his DRS, trying to get within that DRS range, whilst if it doesn't shut down at any time. Very wide through that turn, not wanting to get too close to the curb, as we know in wetter conditions accelerating off the curb is only going to leave you in one place, and on a street circuit that's a wall. So just 6 laps to go now. 6 laps to go of this 31 lap circuit. Hope you're all enjoying the commentary and the action. What have we got online? Let's have a quick look. Drivers online. Yep, cool. So Max still pulling out a lead further on Denmark. 1.1 seconds this lap. John Cox running rather wide there through turns, I'd say 15 and 16, maybe 16, 17. But yeah, start, I think he's getting very close to inters now. I really do. It's hard to see with the lights above the track, but that rain, as we can see in the driver's view, is really starting to get difficult. So Jonathan Cox losing a little bit there out of turn 5 and really starting to skid about. Denmark now with a 1.7 second lead over John Cox. Let's look at, we got Cyberspace, just looks like, who's pitting? Short Marcus is pitting. Has he picked up some damage? No, he's switching on to the inters, so Marcus is switching on to the inters, the first driver to do so. DRS is still enabled in my, if I do believe, I've not seen it, but we are seeing a McLaren of Kieran Rees coming in as well. He's getting his points position. let's see how these tyres work. We have got a yellow flag in sector 2. I believe that is FTH. It looks like he's, yep, he was ghosting. He's picked up damage. Yep, missing an end plate. As he runs wide again, this is really going to open up the door for Paul to get back on course with him. I think, wait, has Paul got damage as well? I'm looking, I can't see any damage. I know he's going to be struggling with those tyres, but he's really struggling with these corners as well. So is he going to be able to get that 4th position back? I'm not seeing damage. I'm really not from that angle. And he's rapidly closing on FTH, who is going to have to pit. I think all of the drivers, as Paul really struggles to get through that corner, but holds it off. Brilliant driving there. We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. It's an Alpha Tower. It must be a Rumax who's hit the barrier, and Short Marcus moving up to 7th. Rumax now down to 8th. DRS has been disabled. That is my point to get my arse in the pits. So Paul Harrison is already 8 seconds ahead of FTH. He's really struggling to get that car back to the pits. This is going to ruin FTH's race. But saying that, so as we see the top 3 are in, I'm sure Paul will be following him. Thankfully for FTH, it's only going to ruin to the point that he's got to get a new front wing. It's not a complete pit stop, and the drivers wanting to be very careful. As we see Side of Space losing connection, I'm going to drop him another invite. Just one more. So Paul now in the pits. All of the drivers now, I believe, will be pitting onto the softs. Let's see where this is going to bring up Short Marcus. Short Marcus taking that early leap. Already in the position that he was when he pitted. Is this going to bring him up? Is this going to have given him the jump on EMD drivers ahead of him? Or should FTH having to pit for a new front wing? Side of Space was really struggling for pace. I think most of them were. Where is this going to bring him out? Short Marcus is out to 5th. Short Marcus is up to 5th, and he's going to be very close to 4th behind Paul Harrison. He's going to have that extra lap of heat in those tyres to get him up to a decent temperature. Let's see what Marcus can do here. Let's have a look at the penalty situation though, because Paul and Max still the only drivers without penalties. Marcus only has 3 seconds. Now, Jonathan Cox is 20 seconds ahead of Paul, so I think even with his 9 seconds penalties, it's safe. Denmark, so right now, penalty is not playing that big of a key here, because the gaps between the drivers are just quite a bit, as we see KVD getting past Rumax being in the pits of course. As we see Martin 69 is off the track, still not even around to the pits to get a new set of tyres on, so I think 11th and last will be him. On board with Max now. Where is Max on the actual track? He is coming up to overlap Martin, so Martin won't be completing last lap. We will be going into the last 4 laps of this race now. Max not needing to push it. He's got 17 seconds to play with essentially. The 10 he's ahead of Denmark, and then the 6 penalties. So, however, John Cox is going. I think he's going for it. He doesn't want to potentially lose anything. As we see Kieran getting past Side of Space. Oh, yes, Side of Space is in AI, so he has been invited back. Hopefully he'll rejoin soon. But Kieran now up to 6th position. Paul, Short Marcus, so both having pitted from 7th and 9th are now up to 5th and 6th respectively, having taken that decision earlier, 1 lap earlier to do so. Excuse me guys, so sorry about that. Freezing tonight. Oh, I gotta love English weather. So as I was saying, so guys, so Jonathan, I think the battle on track is going to be John Cox and Denmark. He's got now, as I say, Paul Harrison now picking up a 3-second time penalty. So it's Kieran running very wide there through the penultimate turn. He's got Sider and FTH closing up behind him. Now Sider hasn't rejoined, has he? No, he hasn't. He is still ghosting. Yep, still ghosting. So yep, Side of Space now rejoining. Good to have you back, Side of Space. Thank you for getting back on. So I'm going to sit on board with John Cox. He's gaining over a second a lap, I would say, on Denmark. Dash down to 2.2 now. They do only have 3 laps to go, and he needs to get past Denmark and gain 3 seconds. But one thing I'm seeing about John Cox is he's got some amazing racing pedigree here in the league. Pleasure to have him on board. and hopefully we're going to be in for a good battle between him and Denmark in these final few laps. Had another Codemaster glitch and a yellow flag in sector 2 is the Alfa Romeo of Martin 69. Yep, Martin 69 that would be. So let's see what can John Cox produce here. We've got drivers will shortly be crossing the line to take the start of lap 29, and just 1.5 seconds. I see John being right on the back of Denmark by the end of his lap, closing all the time on Denmark. I don't know, does Denmark, does he have any damage? Let's have a look at his car. I mainly look at the end plates and there's no end plate damage, so John just showing some superior, fantastic pace here to close the gap to Denmark, and we'll be looking to make that move sooner rather than later with a 3 seconds more penalties. Probably, maybe hoping for Denmark to get a penalty, make a mistake. Very easy to do in these conditions, as you know, getting within spray distance of Denmark. What can John do here? Obviously catching is one thing, overtaking is quite another, like the late and great Murray Walker said. What can John do here? He will have, if he can make the move, 1-2 laps to gain the 3 seconds he needs over Denmark, but he does seem to have, as we've got a yellow flag. Is that going to be an illegal overtake? I'm not sure. Is John Cox going to have to give that position back? It does not appear so. It was just a yellow flag in 1 and 3. FTH having retired in the pit lane, so nope, that is absolutely fine. Perfect racing. John has got the position on Denmark and a second already over him. So what can John do here? Can he get the 3 seconds he needs? He's got 2 laps to do it. 2 laps, 2 seconds. My money's on yes. We will see what happens. So FTH having pitted, we now are just left with 10 drivers, so all of our drivers will be receiving points. The drivers that have finished will be receiving points, so don't know what to say about that really. It's, when you see pit lane retirements, you do think, okay, it's actually so close, like at any point I'm not going to give up. Like, I've done it before and now I've seen, okay, no drivers finished. I'm like, oh, you are kidding me. So I just keep going no matter what, because you never know what's going to happen. And here we are in a position where we are left with 10 drivers. So John now 2.7 seconds up already on Denmark. I think it's a formality. I think he's easily going to have this position on Denmark. And without any huge changes, we've got side of space. We've got, yeah, Kieran has lost the position. No, he hasn't lost the position. Short Marcus was always ahead. So but side of space 4.5 seconds behind, and nearly clipping the wall there. Now, I think maybe this part is sheltered a bit, but side of space really seems to struggle for traction and grip on these roads. Rain isn't easing up, and there are parts of the track that is a lot wetter than others, so having to compensate for that. But I think without any abnormalities, I think we've got our top 10, and yeah. So 2 laps to go. Let's give someone who hasn't had much attention today, Max, as he comes through the back of the back end of lap 30. So just 1 more lap to go for Max. Taking it very easy, doesn't have to push here. He knows he's got this race in the bag. Barring any spins or crashes into the pit wall. Not thinking of anyone there in particular, Carl. So, yep, Max now on his last lap, and what has been, as always, is this fantastic drive from Max. Being aggressive, use tactics, and use tactics well. I think that's going to be the key here to his victory, is that he's used his tactics where he's needed to. We were unfortunate to get that second safety car, but obviously it did happen, and that really played into the hands of the front runners, allowing them to put onto a fresh set of hards, which would get them all the way to the end. But then this weather came in, and Inters was the only choice. So it has been a good race by Max. We've seen a lot of instances. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of fun reviewing these, and me especially tomorrow whilst I'm on a train travelling. So yeah, Max is now coming through to the end of sector 2. Got very close to all. I was like, oh no, please let's not see a last lap calamity losing a wheel. And Max is going to have to start fuel saving. He's running red on the fuel. He's going to have to start fuel saving. I mean, it's still 20 seconds that John Cox has to catch up to him, so nothing too much to worry about. But yeah, Max now slowly, easily coming through the last sector. And very shortly we will be seeing our championship leader gain another 25 points on Jim, taking his points tally to 261.5. And looking to seal the championship in Russia next week. So Max coming through the last 2 turns, the only driver not to get a penalty and the only driver to take the checker flag here at Singapore in the OBF1 Friday Night Racing League. As we see John Cox, a fantastic drive for John to take 2nd place on the podium. Denmark now coming over the line as well, fully RS. And there we are, Denmark, that is our podium. Paul Harrison will come over to take a well-deserved 3rd, only ruin what could have been had it not been for that drive-through penalty. But 43 seconds behind Max, I think would have struggled to hold Max off. So let's see. Whoa, okay, that was a bit scary. I thought Paul was going to retire through the last corner. Shot Marcus taking 5th. Cider Space has got past Kieran. I'm guessing Kieran has got some damage. On the last lap, Kieran has picked up some end plate damage, and this has gifted Cider Space the 6th place back that he would have lost as his car lagged out. Both on 3 seconds of penalties. And yep, Cider Space is going to take 6th position here, with Kieran just behind him in a well-earned 7th place. And Kieran really must be on low fuel mode. Yeah. Now we've only got 3 more drivers to cross the line, I do believe. It's saying Martin 69 still needs to cross, but I do believe he has already, having been overlapped. So we've got KVD coming across the line now in the AlphaTauri, 8 points in the AlphaTauri team from KVD. And then Rumax in 9th should be, yep, Martin 69 crossing the line now, and Rumax, it's a nice spin out there for the last turn from Rumax, our last driver to cross the line in 9th place. Martin having been overlapped by practically the entire field, taking 10th. However, as we can see on the screen, our DOTD is the very lovable, the very Welsh, the very sheep man, Kieran Rees in the McLaren. So that is our OBF1 Friday Night Racing League at Singapore finished. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We'll round off the winners as we see Max getting very accustomed to that top step. I think we've got to have to get him a lot more competition for next season with the tiers, and that's something we are actively doing. But another win for Max in the Haas, a fantastic drive there. And I'm sure he'll be looking to repeat that next week in Russia to take the championship. So our 3 drivers on the top of the podium. We have got John Cox in 2nd, Denmark back racing. I haven't taken a couple of weeks off, in 3rd position in a very challenging Singapore Grand Prix. So that is our top 3. Let's see how this leads off for the rest of the drivers. Just waiting for it to load up now, guys. But yeah, so we have got, for some reason I'm not getting the screen as to who finished where. Here we go, brilliant. And it's cut off. Awesome, fantastic. So I can't even round off the top 10. My apologies, that is a connection thing. But I will make sure we've got the race results captured. And this is Pete W. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to what has been another great night of racing with the OBF1 Racing League. So I hope you've had a fantastic evening. Take care, guys. Stay safe. Have a great weekend. And see you soon. Thank you so much again. Good night, guys.